Come in, Shadow Squad. This is Action Force Series 5. We're dying out here. No. Well done, Praetorian. Prepare for debriefing as we get into Valaverse dies with Series 5. Well, certainly fights to survive, or it's going to need to, because, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good with this series, and there's some things that it's just like has me scratching my head. Let's get into it. First off, let's start with the Praetorian here. I only got half the wave. Now I only got 3 figures out of, what was it, like 6 or 7, I believe. I got the ones that are the most bang for your buck, I feel like. You'll see as I go along with everyone, but I feel like the Praetorian and the other guy here, they come, if you go into the Valaverse page and you go and you kind of swipe over, you could see like all the pieces that all the figures come with, like everything they come with. And if you minus stands and hands, you can kind of count how many accessories you're getting. And yeah, other than, what was it, Sidewinder here? Yeah, he came with the most stuff. Counted up, I believe it's like 21 different items. I'm counting clips, holsters, grenades, a vest, all that stuff, minus the figure, minus hands, and minus the stands. I'll count extra heads and everything else, the vest, whatever. And yeah, Sidewinder comes with like 21 items, and Colonel Siege comes with 6. So and they're all same price point except for like the basic Recon troopers. So it's just like, ugh. So I kind of picked ones that I wanted the most, and I was on the fence. I didn't really want Colonel Siege to begin with, but I was like, oh, only 6 like accessories for the same price. It's kind of, it's got me scratching my head there. Again, number 1. So that was weird. And just the price point in these in general, I feel like I may have figured out the formula on what these figures are costing. Bobby Valaverse, or just Valaverse in general, the whole company, per figure. So, because if you count out the items, like I said, and then you count the figures themselves and the hands and the stands, this side you're counting it for price point, and then count out all the parts for every single one and every single joint. And so, for example, one figure costs, let's say you're getting one figure made, just one of these made from scratch. This has never been made before. It's your prototype. It's going to cost you like $10,000 and up to get it from the factory molded. I'm talking like professional, like Hasbro, you would see your figure in Target level, right? And you want it to be an action figure, really nice. We're talking 10,000 and up. Guys do the Kickstarter, they're asking for 100K and up. So that gives you kind of an idea. However, if you order, let's say 10,000 of these, I mean, your initial one's going to cost 10,000, but then if you put in an order for, let's say you want 10,000 units with paint and everything like that, I mean, 1-to-1 with nothing, it's going to cost, what, 10,000 units? It's going to cost you $1 to make each one, right? $10,000, 1-to-1, right? So, but if you get it with all the bells and whistles, based on the price point that they're like $38. But if you minus like the $16 shipping, and then if you take that number and kind of divide it by 4, now I say 4 because if I'm trying to explain this so kind of everybody can understand it. This is not necessarily the way I got this formula or kind of equation, I guess you could say, but it's just a way so you understand. So you ever see Restaurant Impossible, or Robert Irvine on like the Food Network or whatever? If you have, or whatever, if you haven't, it's just a guy who goes around. He's a famous restaurant owner, cook, chef. He goes around and he helps failing restaurants around America, around the country. So he'll talk to them about certain things, and one of them is food costs. And with food costs, he says, well, you take your dish, let's say you're making spaghetti and meatballs, right? And let's get out some accessories for this guy. And you do that by 3, right? Well, let's actually break him down, and we're getting to articulation as we go into sculpt and paint, which is really nice. So he says you divide that by 3. So you take your, so whatever the price the spaghetti and meatballs is, right, is how you make the price. For example, let's say it costs you $1 to make them. You know what I mean? With the meat, the spaghetti, or whatever. So he's like, well, you times it by 3. It takes it takes $1 to get for the materials, right, for spaghetti meatballs. This is just an example. It's just easy math, whatever. But let's say you take, so to get the materials is $1. Then like your labor, you know, is another $1. So that's $2. And then you add another $1 for like your overhead, your profits, your, you know, everything else. So that's about $3. So he says you charge $3 for your plate of spaghetti meatballs. So, but with action figures, they're not making them themselves. It's not in-house. So it's times 4, not times 3. So you take that number, it's basically anywhere from $1 to $3.50 per figure is how much it costs to make these. And then you times that by 4, so that's times 2 is 7, times another 2, so that's 14. And then you add what, that other $16, there's that 8. There's the $30 price point, right? And then you add another 8 for shipping that we do for the flat rate. So that's kind of where I got that equation from. And I say the $16 because he says he's eating shipping, which I feel like, I don't know, I feel like that's not entirely true. Again, I'm not seeing the numbers and not seeing the paperwork, but I mean, they'd have to come on and clarify. But yeah, it's anywhere from $3.50, maybe at most $7 per figure, but it's no more than that. They're not paying $19 to get these made, you know what I mean? So I may not be exact, but I'm definitely in the ballpark. So that being said, as you can see, the sculpt is nice on these, paint is nice. Yeah, I just thought that was, because it was just an eye-opener looking at all the pieces and getting the bang for your buck. And then I was like, wait a minute, and then counted all the pieces out and then times that how much would be in a mold. And it was a lot of math that I'm not gonna, you know, waste your time on right now, but it's just to speed things up, just divide it by 4, and that's how much they're paying pretty much, minus shipping if you're getting it direct. So keep that in mind. So, but these are basically $40 figures pretty much. So we're gonna see if they're worth that and if they're better than Series 4, because I know what you're thinking. Hey, you said their Series 4 is getting worse. It's getting worse with Series 4. What about Series 5? Series 5 is going to die? Well, let's get into it. Let's see. Now the price point's out of the way. I do like the aesthetic. I've been told this is a Snake Eyes, Fury Snake Eyes, that company that does Transformers. They did a couple Joe stuff. It's like a robotic Snake Eyes, and someone showed me 1-to-1. A few people, you know what I mean, that was like, oh no, this was taken from something else. So I thought it was an original design, and I thought that was really clever. So I'm a little disappointed to see that I was informed that this was indeed taken from something else. I'm just a little confused by the head sculpt. Now, are these the eyes? These little red dots down here? Or is it like Alien, like, you know, like Sigourney Weaver's Aliens, where it's like, that's not his eyes, those are just sensors, and he has no eyes, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like the alien. So, I don't know, if that's his eyes, he kind of, it makes him look derpy, honestly. You know what I mean? That's like, he's got like a 5 head. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that's not the eyes. I think it might be, because they're pretty perpendicular to like the nose and mouthpiece and mouth guard there. Let me get them a little straight. I'm just kind of avoiding the camera stand. So there we go. So yeah, I don't know. I really like the promo images. And when I got it in hand and started to see more close-ups, like, oh, you kind of, that looks like Alien there. But that red just throws me off. Yeah, it looks like eyes, and it's making them look like, whatever you say, boys. So, I don't know. And then let's get into his articulation. Now, this is Series 5, the number. I did kind of cover a Series 5 figure with the Vanguard, but this is a more, I don't know if I want to use the word intricate, but more designed figure. And you saw the head sculpt, I mean, the head neck peg design, where it's the hinge, the dated hinge, but he put a double neck peg, well, not a double neck peg, a single ball peg, neck peg in there. And with the Praetorian, it doesn't really work that well. I mean, he looks down fine, and he looks up decent enough, but he doesn't get, I can't move that neck barely at all. And I haven't really heated these up, but I've had them out, been messing around. I've like played around with this guy, really posed them up, and yeah, they're all loosened up by now. So they're loose. I mean, even if it is cold months, they're loose. It's warm in this room. Yeah, so that's a little disappointing. But that being said, then you get to the torso real quick, and this is super, I mean, it's smooth, but it's like too smooth. And I find when I was messing around with him, like his abdomen would kind of end up like this, and I'd find myself like constantly fixing his torso and that top part. I wish the neck was as smooth as this, and this was not as stiff as this, but a little bit stiffer. So when I'm posing him, it's not really, yeah, see, I need like the whole thing to come with it. You know what I mean? A little bit. It's like all on Series 5, a lot of these parts, and I'm going to show you, you're going to see firsthand, a lot of them are loose and a lot of them are tight. It's weird. Not super tight, not, I didn't need to take a hairdryer to any of these. So that's plus. Let's cover the pluses here. I don't want to seem like I'm just here to bash on these. But I am going to hold this line, Valaverse Action Force, to the same level of scrutiny that they hold literally every other company to. So I'm really digging in here and really going to go in. So now we got the butterflies, which I think are excellent. Excellent butterflies. And they took my advice and they cut in a little deeper. So what just fell off? Ah, that's another thing. I'll get to this. I'll get to this. Such a mixed bag with this line. It's just been such a mixed bag. But I will say they took my advice, and that is so deep that he could like hold his own hand almost without any help. Maybe if I moved his hands in. Well, this one, the other one doesn't really move in. But yeah, look at that. So A+ on the butterfly joints. A+. Excellent. And they're smooth. Beautiful butterflies. They're cut in the right amount. It looks a little weird. A little skinny in the chest. But I mean, it is a robot, so you get away with it. But yeah, I don't mind if they kind of do this with most figures. It doesn't have the ugly meat hangover. Remember that? You know, that was done away with. So A+ fix of the torso. A+. And definitely with the butterfly. Awesome. Awesome job. The T-pose. I don't know why everyone's kind of obsessed with the T-pose. I get it. You do need it for some poses. But that's kind of as far as it can go without me stressing it. So that's okay. I mean, it's not great, but what are you going to do? Bicep is fine. Elbow, top is a little tight, but nothing, not really, nothing to even complain about. So, very nice. And here's when we run into some problems. So, and a lot of people are having problems with these hinges. So this hand is nice, right? Tight. Right? This one, changed it once. Oh, it's not this guy who does it. It's the other guy. He's not bad. He's not bad. All right, good. Because sometimes these have been getting loose on people. But all right, so far so good. So far so good. All right, take a breath. Next, as I demonstrated, this top is really good, really smooth. Got to hold the bottom there. And the bottom is good, side to side. I'm getting nothing forward, though. I don't know. No, it shouldn't be that design. But it's like, let me kind of move the hand out. It's like, yeah, it just stops right there. Back is good. Forward, it's like it's on backwards. No, it's definitely the spine. But, man, and then nothing. And then you get it all, it's all upper. Yeah, you can see it. It's like not even budging. And then I move them around and stuff. And see, and then it's like, right. So that's a little annoying. It's a little annoying. I mean, it's not bad. What's annoying on this figure is these stupid things. I thought it was a cool design, but man, they do not hold these magazines in at all. This one was popping out nonstop, and then I switched it with the guns magazine, and it stays in a lot better. But now, as you saw, this one pops out. I'm constantly, when I mess around with them, constantly knock them out. It's to the point where I'm about to just heat this up and rip this off, because I'm just like, he doesn't need it. I mean, it might be a big gaping hole there, which would suck. So I don't know what I'm going to do, or maybe I'll just take the magazines off. I feel like it'll just look ugly. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But maybe I'll just glue the magazines in place or something, a little drop, so it's not like super permanent, but super annoying. But other than that, and then when I get to the rest of the figure, it's really just all aces, honestly. I really like the ball joint design in there. You can see it a little bit much, but it's not bad. Drop downs, I mean, I don't really care about drop downs, but thigh is really good. Double jointed knees, of course, pinless by now. Don't even have to mention. I mean, who's behind? McFarlane still. That's about it. Ankle, pivot, and swivel. Real nice. Real nice. A little tight, but nothing. This is nice and smooth. Real nice. Now the materials. Material-wise, I feel like he fixed the durometer a little bit. Now, what's the durometer? I did explain that in the Valaverse Getting Worse video, and I think I lost the magazine. Yes, I did. Clip lost. Excellent. See, that's what I'm talking about. And then it's lost, and now I'm annoyed. So, anyways, so what was I talking about? Materials. So, yeah, I feel like overall, you could kind of tell, obviously, you know, like this is obviously, it's like ABS versus PVC plastic. And you can kind of tell, like, this is softer. But it's hands and accessories. They have to be. You know, I want the hands softer. I don't want it as hard as this because it'll break if I try and get a weapon in it. So that's fine. But I don't want, like, the torso or any of the other, like, main body parts to feel that way, even if they are the same. And yeah, I don't feel like that's too hollow. This is nice and solid, but not like it doesn't want to move, except it just doesn't want to move forward. Yeah, no, it's not budging. Darn, we'll have to mod that, or I don't really want to mod these. But anyways, yeah, good materials overall. I'd say definitely I give it an A, because just some of the joints are a little annoying. They don't work, but A to A plus, I'd say, on this guy's materials. Definitely a lot better than Series 4. Someone, it was either Bobby Vala or someone claiming to be Bobby Vala. I never had a chance to check it out. Mention something about the durometer. I can't remember, but they said, like, oh no, it's all the same. But obviously they must have taken, if it was really them, must have taken what I said to heart, because they did change everything real nice. Here's some of the weapons. Here's some of the they're good and the bad. The weapons are, I love the way these weapons are designed. He has a little trouble getting his hand in this one, so I do prefer this gun. It's definitely giving me Sith Trooper from Rise of Skywalker vibes on this. Disappointing number one, I've said this for many figures, and it's across all figures across the board, but especially with military ones. If it comes with guns and you have blast effects, you need to add the blast effects. I'm going to mention this again. This is going to be a long video. I have a lot to cover. But blast effects, we need to have blast effects. And it's blasphemy that if you're going to give us guns and you don't give us blast effects, it's like, thank God I had enough. And I don't really, where'd they go? Oh, they're on the floor. I pulled out some blast effects for these. You know what I mean? And they look awesome. Let's see if I could maybe throw one on here. Is it this one? Yeah. You know what I mean? But he didn't come with these. Like, come on, throw these in. They're selling these for $2 on the website. Throw them in. If it comes with 2 guns, I want 2 blast effects. If it comes with 2 guns and a barrel, then I want 3 blast effects. Like, and I'm going to have more to talk about these blast effects. Sorry if I hit the camera there. But, yeah, I do like the stand. The stand he comes with. The stand is clear on this side. That's cool. I like that. Okay, with these stickers. But, that's where it gets made. But yeah, I like the clear, translucent of it. But yeah, just the normal hands and stuff like that. I mean, who really cares? It's just normal punching, gripping, blah, blah, blah. Now, he has these holes on his body, which I really wish we got pegs for that can block these up. I mean, not the one in the back, but at least 4 to kind of seal those, because they do, it does look a little bit like, what was that old toy line from the 80s and 90s? Was it Centaurians? No, the guys where like you can clip on like the parts to him, like he's like a tank, he's a jet. Oh man, not Centaurians. I'm close. Again, I'm in the ballpark. I'm in the right decade. But anyways, but yeah, he definitely needs some plug ups for that. That make this aesthetic really nice, because then you put these on there. If it works, hang on. No. Okay. Well, as you can see, and it looks like he's being shot at, so that's cool. He needed something for like the front, you know what I mean? Because he's quite vulnerable from the front. But yeah, and there's 2 of these, so it's like from the side. It's like, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool design, I gotta say. A+ on that design. The effects, they don't really, if you tap them, they pop out, but they do stay in, as you can see. So just do be careful. I've nearly lost them at least twice. So that's pretty neat. And then finally, it's the one thing that it's like cool, and then also a big letdown, is like his laser sword thing. Now it is huge, and it's giving me like Metal Gear Revengeance vibes. You know what I mean? But I like it a lot. But I mean, of course it's gonna stay in now. Yeah, it comes out very easily because it's just a slot in his arm. And I even tried using rubber bands for it to hold it in place, and it didn't work. And usually my rubber bands trick work for everything, but yeah, see, it came out a lot quicker that time. That's really disappointing. That's really, see, mixed bag, you know, has a lot good. And then, but if you're like playing with these and stabbing the guy, here, let me grab the guy out real quick. Let's see how many he can last. Like, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Pop? Two! Unless I just go the other way off the bat. Let's see. 1. Yep. So, yeah, it definitely does not stay in enough, and definitely needs to. But, yeah, a bit disappointing. But not to detract from the overall rest of the figure. If you wanted this to be your sword guy, yeah, pass on that. But if you like the rest of them, like I do, I didn't get it because of the sword. I got it because I did like the aesthetic. It's like another bat. Well, it's the Valaverse bat. You know what I mean? Pretty much. As I said, I did the comparison video. Is it a ripoff or inspired upgrades? Well, I think I need to do a part 2 of that, honestly. But yeah, this is definitely the Valaverse bat, hands down. Mystery people who they work for. But yeah, enough on him. We spent a heck of a lot of time on him. I told you this is going to be a really long video because it needs to be in depth. There's so much to cover. Let's get out Sidewinder here. The money, the one who you're going to get anyone, I'd say it's him is most worth it. Next to number 2 over there. Again, a bit of a mixed bag. Not as mixed as the Praetorian. I haven't really played with this guy yet, so I don't know what's going to pop off on him really or not. Again, same articulation, just slightly different in some parts. But again, he's got the meat hangover thing going. But I feel like the cut is really up on his, what do I want to call, chest or breast meat. I mean, if you want to call it, if you want to say it, but, that's how you want to describe it. But yeah, I mean, he gets a really good with the vest on too. Oh, that one's a little hindered, I guess, because you got the walkie-talkie there. But it's not bad. I dig it. And he moves a lot better all around. He does have that double neck peg thing, but his moves a lot better, as you can see. See, I'm not going to try to compare this to other companies. I mean, I am in the comparisons, the size comparisons, and maybe like once or twice. But, you know, like in price point, for example, I mean, if these are like $38 to $40, it's like, are they worth $38 to $40? What can you get in store that's $38 to $40? It's like NECA. It's like they're good, but they're bad quality. And then what about, I was saying, figure arts? People were going back and forth with me in the last video because I'm telling you, like at Walmart and Target, you could get enough head business. You could get a, 3.0 body figure arts Trunks or a Gohan from the superhero movie for like $35, same price as one of these. Accessory wise, some of them come with extra heads, some of them don't. I think Trunks comes with an extra head or a sword. I know he comes with a sword. I don't know about the extra, I'm not too sure, but I know they come with ton of hands. Sometimes like effect, but not really. But yeah, and so it's kind of like, which is more bang for your buck. A figure arts is really good quality, especially the 3.0s have been really good. The new Trunks, not the first round of Trunks, that was bad, but they course corrected pretty well. And see, they when they have a problem, like Tamashii Nations has a problem, they fix it, and you don't see that problem again until maybe something else. But we haven't seen another loose Trunks, I don't think, since they fixed that problem, and they fixed it with another wave of him. So I'm just why can't Valaverse be like that and just kind of fix problems? Because he's pretty good. I will tell you, as you could tell, he didn't come with the earmuffs though, which bothered the heck out of me. These helmets have to come with the muffs. They have to come with the earpieces or ear guards, whatever you want to call them. They do fit into the helmets pretty nice. They snap in real nicely. But I couldn't get the greens to match up too well, which kind of sucks. But it's better than having nothing. And man, that's all he had. And that was awful. It looks just awful. I mean, he does have the goggles here. Well, I'll show you on the other figure, the next one, honestly. But yeah, other than that, there is just one other complaint I have about Sidewinder. It is a bit concerning, but he needed the earmuffs, and he needed his, there's a few complaints, but he needed the fire effects, of course. He didn't come with muzzle flashes, but yeah, you got to put the earmuffs. I don't know why they were omitted this series, but the heck, you need the earmuffs, man. One thing that happened to me was pushing the silencer out of this broke the little knob. I'll show you on the other set. But yeah, I'm upset about that. And it's one of those things where it's so small, where it's I don't really want to go through the hassle of emailing them over something so tiny. I mean, if it was something else, like these breaking or something, and his vest wouldn't fit on, that's one thing, but that sucks. I literally, there's no other way to get it. I'll show you. You just have to push it through, and yeah, it just snapped, and oh man, that's real disappointing. So that was that faux pas. He didn't come with that. Another thing I noticed when articulating him, if you could see that, yeah, there we go. That's not reflection, that's stress. That's stress marks on the plastic. And it's what the heck? He feels better overall. I don't like how they did the boot thing with this. I guess if you switch it with Series 1, the boot comes up to here, but it's going to have a stupid hangover, I'm pretty sure. I haven't done it yet, so I don't want to say anything yet, but I'm so mad these changed. Really screws up the customizing. But then I'm hearing Bobby doesn't want us customizing these, so I'll get into that in another video. But yeah, he comes with grenades. I mean, it is a little bulky on him. I got him because I'm looking for, pretty much going forward, I really just need like SWAT or like in Logan, you know, those guys, those kind of mercenary guys that they're using in the middle of the movie. They're trying to get X-23 at the what was it, the old silo or whatever, and then at the end of the movie when they're in the woods, and also in the hotel, like those guys, just like random mercs, man. That's all I need. And he kind of fit the bill. He's like, oh, he's Action Force, he's a good guy. Meh, he's a merc hunting Wolverine now. He's a mutant hating prejudiced man. Anyways, not me, this figure. Yeah, so I notice when I articulate him, if you can see it, get my thumb in the way here. Let me see if I can go this way. And then when I go down, you see how that hits? And then that makes that stress mark there. The other figures don't do this, just this guy. Goes right into the plastic like that. No muy bueno. No muy bueno whatsoever. Not good. Not good. And this figure is so good. And this is the one I was looking forward to the most, you know, and he's so good overall. And it's just like, yeah. Little things, though. At least it's little things and nothing real bad. I mean, the legs are fine. They got these giant hinges. That's why they, I think that's why they're a bit hard to articulate. But, man, I feel like they're extra huge. Like, look how much they stick out. You know, like, shave those down a bit. Maybe it won't feel like exercising articulating these darn knees. And another thing I didn't really care for, the last of the negatives on this guy, is the design of this. It's like, how high is that? That's a little too high. A little too high. It needs to be like down here. You know what I mean? Kind of right at the shoulder. So I don't know why the peg is definitely misplaced. Should have been up here and they put it down here instead. It looks like that's exactly what happened. So yeah, and then I'm gonna have to put it like this, and only an idiot wears their knife upside down, you know? So it's, but it looks better this way. You know what I mean? So, that's the last thing. But other than that, other than those little things, so like 1, 2, 3, and even come with a few things. This is the figure that gives you the most bang for your buck because he comes with so much. He comes with a bunch of hands. Comes with this new rifle and magazine. Well, I guess it doesn't pop out. There we go. You get that? Oh, you can actually kind of see the bullet in there. Or is that just a line? Nope, just a line. Get that in there, and hands hold the weapons pretty well. Let's get them in a little pose. But I'll get into posing with the next figure and just kind of reiterate one of the complaints on the neck peg, where it should have just went double ball peg. But see, if it doesn't need to go against the shoulder, which, I mean, all weapons really, most weapons really should, if it's going to give a lot of recoil. Something needs to take it, because otherwise you're just like, you know, you're never going to hit your target. But it looks pretty cool, you know, can't deny. See, I'm really happy with this guy. Just wish he came with the muffs, and it looks a little silly, but not too bad. I think it looks all right. With all the greens here, I think it mixes it up enough. All right, let's move on to the last guy, the Recon Trooper. And we, you know, in the last video of Series 4, their basic trooper was a little more than basic. But here's just a few things that also come with Sidewinder real quick. His stand, it's like a desert thing. Feels okay. I think the glossy underneath makes it feel weird, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and all the hands, you know, another knife gripping, weapon holding, fists. left side trigger, and then the left hand sides with all those. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, if you want to count the ones that are on him. So 8 total, around a little bit less than what you get with a figure art, as I was talking about before. All right, this last one is going to be a bit fun, and we'll go in a little bit more depth here. And some comparisons, some head swaps. Yeah, got more coming. So the basic trooper. Lots to unload about him. So he comes with a cool gun, no fire effect. His hands are a little, it's like gummy and tight at the same time. But, you know, could get the gun in there. Pretty good. Now, I'm going to switch this out. Comes with the same amount of hands as him, just green like this, as Sidewinder. Right into it, I mean, same articulation as Sidewinder. He looks a little bulky. He needs a vest. Like, he looks silly just like this. So he was $20 with the vest. Was $12, so that's $32 plus $8. Yeah, $40 figure. Yeah, you know, I mean, comparative to other lines and the price point, military, well, who was it? G.I. Joe is really the only one. I mean, there's around the same price. I feel like you get, give or take, around the same amount of stuff. So, there's a reason why people get G.I. Joe over these and weapons elsewhere. I'm gonna get into all that. But let's get right into him. First head sculpt. White guy with blue eyes. I think one of the issue with the head sculpts is I can't tell, but I think they're missing in the eye. It's not going to focus if I go too close. They're missing that white. You see how the light catches it, but then it goes away? I think they're missing that white dot in them. You know how they put like a little white, you don't need to always do it, but it's kind of like there's no reflection in the iris. You know, sometimes the trick is they put like a little white dot and it kind of catches the light and it gives that effect, or they really do the eyes up like a third party. Here, can I bring out Rambo here? As you can see, he doesn't have the white dot, but his eyes look so alive when they catch that light. You know what I'm saying? But this is obviously a more expensive figure, so that's a little bit unfair. But I'm trying to see if any of these have them. But I feel like, yeah, here's a, kind of doing the comparisons a bit early. Rhea Ripley, no, that's not any better. Yeah, she's missing it too, and her eyes are just, or are they? They can't really, no, they don't have them. But they look a little bit more realistic than this. You know, this isn't bad, but it's just not 2025 good, or 2024, I guess, when these came out. So, yeah, it's just missing a little bit of paint. But other than that, pretty good. I mean, I think it looks silly. He looks way too arms and legs bulky without a vest on. I'll throw a vest on him. Hopefully it's going to fix all that. But, yeah, a few things. Again, articulation. So it does cut in, I guess, around the same. But his arms are super bulky. Yeah, he can hold his hand. So that's good. So yeah, A+ on the butterflies. A+ all around with this series. Excellent butterflies. Excellent butterflies. Fly with the butterfly on Series 5. So it's surviving. It's surviving. It's doing a lot of good things. The torso's a lot better. You see what I'm saying? How when I move it, it kind of moves with it and not in like the opposite direction. Because with him, you know, you move one way and the torso goes with it, and then you go the other way and the torso doesn't go with it. So this is a lot better, a lot tighter. It moves, you know, actually, and the top is smooth too. So it's like a give and a take. You would think the robot Praetorian would move better than the human, but I mean, and you can't really argue that has a lot of sculpt, but this has a lot of sculpt in it too. A lot of sculpt. So, you know, it's just kind of confusing why it's like, well, how come some figures work and some don't? you know, but maybe with the paint, something with the paint or something jams up the joints. I don't know. Maybe they're doing different durometers or something per figure. Are they all the same? The process the same? Because it's like, you know, it's like making everything else. There's a heating process, there's a cooling process, there's a mixing the plastic process, you know, so it's a big process. Costs money. That's where the 10 grand comes in. But yeah, so pretty good. Legs, unlike the Vanguard driver, are loose, but not like this. Yeah, let me do the side to side with my right hand, get a little more sway. Yeah, that, and then almost a baby's rattle. So yeah, definitely an upgrade with the tightness of the joints. Yeah, as you saw in the unboxing video, top leg moves well, bottoms don't. They're super hard. You know what I feel like I need? You remember that old, I think I've said this before, that old 80s workout thing was like the metal gripper in the hand and you like squeeze it. You know, I think they had it in like, I think Josh Brolin was using it in Goonies. I'm not too sure. But one of those old workout hand devices. His figure, I feel like you need them for the handle this, some of the parts of this figure. But everything else is pretty good. Nothing too loose. Hands okay. And the one thing I thought it was him, but it's actually this one. As I said with the hand, you know, they did get a little looser, but that's okay. And this one is just completely unacceptable. You know what I mean? Like, oh, no, now it's kind of sticking, but yeah, there we go. Like, I should not be able to do that at all. Any looser, and yeah, I would have to return this figure because, I mean, actually, I do have a fix for it. I think if you just shove a piece of paper in there, but I mean, this, I can't even spin it at all. It does move, but I shouldn't be able to, like, it's like I'm taking out a screw. You know what I mean? And let me show you from Series 3. See, in her hand, you know, moves her whole arm. This is Valaverse to Valaverse. So, you know, what the heck? Why, since Series 3, why have things been slipping? It was like, Series 2 was like the peak. What? It's not all lost, but it definitely needs to get a bit better than this. Here, let me... Oh, well, look. Look how huge the hole is in there. Jeez, no wonder it's loose. Let me try a piece of paper, a tiny piece of paper, just a normal piece of paper, and see what I can do. All right, so let me kind of... All right, it's going to be a little difficult to do on camera, but not yet. All right, let me try this one more time. Wrap it around there. I want to, like, I could just take it off camera and do it, but I want to show how it's done. And then kind of shove it in. All right. We'll have to hide it a little bit better, but as you can see, a lot better. A lot better. That's why I'm not like, this figure's garbage, but any looser and it would be. And that'd be awful. Yeah, see, now I gotta do something nice with that. But we're just gonna keep that in for now. Let's get into the rest of this figure. So we saw what he come with, but I noticed something. Hold on, I gotta get it. Okay, so he comes with another head. I'll take this off so you can see this. As you can see the hinge there. So this is good, and as you can see, that can move well. But this hinge, every time I switch the heads, I get so nervous. I'm going to take the hinge with it. This is double ball peg, no problem. Just pop them back in. This pops out, and it's an email and a week or 2 weeks or how many weeks for Valaverse to get a return. I mean, their returns are really good. The customer service really good. Hey, I found that magazine. But yeah, definitely worried about that. If he just went double ball peg, and I'm going to show you why they really need to go double ball peg. Yeah, hopefully they do, because I'm definitely not going to get any more of these bodies with that setup anymore. I got 3 figures of this kind of design, I guess if you want to count him as 4, and I'm already feel like I have them all. Okay, so he put this head sculpt on there, and as you can see, and I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest, I have to admit, I'm a bit jealous. This is an articulated ninja head sculpt. I'm pretty sure of it. I mean, oh, that's not an articulated ninja? Okay, hang on. If you don't know who that is, that's another YouTuber who I guess you could say works for Valaverse, but yeah. Oh, it's a little big. But tell me that isn't him. Disqual, fight me. Take that. Oh, wait a minute. Is that supposed to be, hang on. That's not staying. Is that supposed to be on can 3 stacks? Hold on, Bobby, did you make them into like the same person? Because watching those 2 guys fight was like watching the same guy argue with himself with the mirror. I mean, we all miss watching those fights. Oh man, that was good stuff. But if that was done on purpose, sir, I gotta tip my hat. That's a little bit of genius there. That is too funny. Because yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one it's supposed to be. But anyways, let's move on to a couple more head sculpts. I thought that was pretty humorous. So I got this one here from the first heads pack. Ooh, putting that on's a little tight. There's the gas mask. Looks pretty good. And then I got another one here. Hold up. It's green. Okay. And the greens do not match, but I think I might be able to get away with it. The blacks match, so that works. Get that off. Perfect. All right, let's get the first head sculpt back on there. And let's get into his weapons pack. When you saw the articulation, I mean, it's going to be the same as everyone else. You know, heads up, kicked up. I think I did it in the opening video of him. I opened him right out of the package. He worked pretty okay. Like I said, minus the lower half, but not too bad. Now, I'm going to call it his accessory set. I mean, he comes with, there's a weapon pack he doesn't come with, I should say, but you can get one and use it for any figure. But again, so it's basically just his Sidewinder's gear set minus, I believe, that and a different gun. But first off, again, he came with the helmet and no earmuffs. Again, no ear protectors, no ear guards, no communication receivers, whatever you want to call it. So I had to use these. Again, no matching greens. It's super frustrating. They got to give us these earmuffs. I don't want to reiterate again, but cool looking futuristic helmet. You know, in the visor, I like how it finally flips down. Very cool. And he could be a pilot too, actually. Chopper pilot. Yeah, I hope they make a little bird. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that'd be cool. Just like a 2-seater. You know, or like a Black Hawk helicopter. That'd be sweet, but that'd be huge. Really long. But I have a 1/18 scale one, and yeah, it's been, and a little bird's more durable. It's going to be big in itself, but it'd be pretty sweet. Just a 2-seater, and then it's got the guardrails, the landing guardrails, you know, guys could hold on to. I wish they would do that next in a Cobra landing, but I said that before. Anyways, that looks pretty good, but I had to add the muffs. Without the muffs, I mean, they fit on. I'm not taking them off, but you can imagine, yeah, he looks quite stupid without it. Quite stupid. And again, so this weapons pack comes with 2 guns and like 5 fire effects. So he comes with none, he comes with 1. The weapons pack that has 2 guns, comes with 5. It's like, what is this, a Build-A-Figure of fire effects? Like, that's kind of, it's stupid. Like, come on, just throw them in. If they have a gun, they need a firing effect. I mean, if he has 1 gun, one firing effect per, I don't want to call it per gun, per, not nozzle, what do I want to say? Per tip. Yeah, firing hole. I'm brain farting on the proper terminology, but muzzle, I guess, for each muzzle needs a muzzle flash. Yeah, there we go. But pretty cool rifle here. Again, so all this stuff, he comes with the vest and everything. You do have to pop his head off. Oh, and his materials, I think I needed to talk about that. Again, he's not as good feeling all around as the other guys. Like, it's again with the basic trooper, like the Arctic one. It's like the arms feel different. I'm not counting the hands and feet, you know, and obviously the joints are going to be different, but the figures should feel the same all throughout. Like, I shouldn't be able to really tell. Like, it shouldn't be jarring when you touch them. Oh, hit the camera again, sorry. But you know what I mean? It shouldn't be, you know, like, oh, that's different. You know what I mean? Like, this feels a little bit more hollow. Not too bad. Not on the cheap side, but not exactly on the super quality. This feels super thick. You know what I mean? I understand this needs to be a little bit hollow, though, for all the joints and mechanisms inside, for, you know, for this joint to pop into, these joints to pop into. So it needs to be a bit hollow. But this is super solid. Maybe you fill in a little bit more space. I don't know if that would work. But, you know, I expect this piece to be a little bit different. But it feels like between the legs and this and this and this and this, it's like it's night and day. I mean, like I said, you give the boots a little bit of a pass and the hands. But like the legs and this piece and this, like this throughout the midsection of the figure, the main part of the figure holding on to, should feel relatively all the same like these guys. And I don't know why the basic troopers just don't do that with this line. And it's not like that criticism's hurting anything. The basic troopers always sell out from Valaverse. I mean, the Arctic one sold out from them direct. So, you know, it's not like I'm hurting anything. I just want the line to get better, you know, and be able to handle the same criticisms that they dish out to everybody else. So, or every other company, I should say. I guess everyone else. So yeah, let's get him loaded up. Because always when you put, actually I have to pop his head off again. When you put gear on these figures, it does make them a little better. But man, I don't know. He's gonna have to give me something that I'm asking for. Or let's see how well these close, actually. Something I'm asking for, or something like I didn't know I really needed for our collections. Because like I said, all our collections are pretty much the same. So there's, like, we all need the same stuff. We all need, like, I don't want to beat a dead horse. You could see it in the Vanguard Trishvani video. So that's not going on too easy. So yeah, the bottom one does, but the top one, it's going to take some finagling. So I'll have to do that next time. These kind of just slip on. And they did. I noticed he changed the belt because some people are complaining that they were like had to pop their figure in half to get their belts off. And I don't know why they were doing that, because I've demonstrated that all you need to do is like slide it up the leg like I'm doing with this. You know, you just put the legs together, and with the drop down method, with the drop down legs, I should say, and you just slide it up. But now it's got a peg, which makes me nervous because I don't know if it's going to stay in place. Oh, but I was able to get the silencer out of this one. Okay. Without breaking it, because I knew this time that it's super fragile. Fragile. You get it in there, and that looks awesome. I love all the silver. It goes this way, but then you can't move it the other way, which is weird. A little bit, but... The designs on these are so weird. You can't pop the mag out. No clip for you. But let's try, and I'm going to leave that out. I'm going to leave both of those off and try and get this thing on See if I can do it 1, 2, 3. If not, then we'll have to see. But yeah. No, I'm like stretching, and it's not. Wants to a little bit. No. So yeah, I kind of missed the other thing. I hate the pegs. I wish I like just. It's gonna be annoying. I miss it just going the opposite way. But let's get him. You know what? Actually, I got to take this off because I wanted to demonstrate one last thing before we get into comparisons. The neck peg that needs to why needs to go double ball once again. I've showed this before, but I'm just going to reiterate. Let me show off the blast effects for it. It's really confusing too why we got so many. So he comes with the handgun and this gun, right? So first effect is this, and this one doesn't have the top nozzle hole, I guess you could say. So this goes in the bottom. Okay, grenade launchers, that looks like it's rapid firing, so that doesn't really make sense for that. I feel like that should have went to somebody else. So we got this one as the hole for the rifle. That fits in all right. I don't mind that it doesn't have the bullet at the end. I like how Mezco's does, but I like a little variety. And then it's got the blasting effect like this. Okay, what is it? Single shot versus like rapid fire? I don't know. And then you got this little one, which I thought was for the handgun, or is it for the grenade launcher? Like, boop. See, because that looks better. But then you got another one that goes in here too. So you assume the small one would be for the handgun, but then you got all these. It just doesn't make any sense. It feels like it's supposed to go for the Praetorian and the other one, and he just shoved them all in here. Like, come on, don't give me that build-a-figure chase a firing effect nonsense, Bobby. Come on, give us a break. Just comes with a gun, needs a firing effect, end of story. That goes for all lines. I don't care what company. If you're making a figure, it comes with a gun. If it's a Punisher or whatever, it needs a firing effect. It needs a firing effect if you have them made. But let's try and do this one-handed. Last thing I'll show is just and I showed this with the other figure before that comes with the Vanguard. When you need to shoulder a rifle like this, it's just you cannot get him looking down the barrel in a realistic way. You know, that without his like face going so close to the scope. Like, remember that George Clooney movie where he was like a sniper and he had like his face against the scope? Like, that was just moronic, you know, idiotic. I don't know what to call it, because when you're firing a weapon, it has recoil. And if you have your face against the scope like that, or your eye, it's gonna go into your head. It's gonna knock into your socket. It could blind you, knock your eye out. I'm sure in some cases, death. I'm sure someone has died from putting their eye against it and had it fire. I'm sure that's happened. But I can't really get him because the neck peg here, like a realistically, and have that shouldered, realistically far away from that. Like, that's gonna go right into the bridge of his nose and break his freaking nose, man. Like, it's not bad, but it's supposed to be a military line, and yeah, his neck just looks super awkward. I don't even need the other arm up. It's kind of irrelevant for this, but you know, it's just a little close. Here, let me show you another example. Let me grab Scarlet here. Hang on, let me switch our hands out. All right. Let's grab the latest retro Scarlet. Let's put her rifle in there. Same rules. She needs to shoulder it, right? Let's get that elbow bent. Hand down. She needs to shoulder it and look down the scope. And you see how more realistic and easy that was, and how far away she is from the scope. Like, she isn't supposed to be like around the block away from her scope, but I mean, you need to be able to see through it, but it also can't be, see, like, who's gonna get the shot off without injuring themselves? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just proof in the pudding. I'm not hating on anything. I'm not trying to tear anything down. I want things to improve, and it's just a double ball neck peg is just superior. I mean, I know it's centimeters, but centimeters matter. It matters between realistic and idiotic. So that's the last thing I got to say about it. This line, is it dying? I don't think so. Not entirely, but figures aren't selling out like they used to. They're not selling out as quickly as they used to. They're going to a lot of shows like road salesman. You know, you don't do that. You don't need to do that when you're doing all right. You know what I'm saying? Other, like Mezco, you know, they hurt a lot of their fan base and they lost a lot of customers and they started to do shows again. So, you know, let's try and get these guys here for the comparison. But so it's not exactly looking great, but I mean, I'm sure they're going to go to Series 10. I'm sure they may even go to Series 12. Are they going to make it to Series 18? I don't know. I don't know. Let's get in, let's put in Scarlet right away. Right off the bat here. I mean, there's a few more things I need from them. A few more things I like them to make. She'll stand there. There we go. Let's get in just like a Star Wars guy, in case you want your robot to be part of Star Wars. So, yeah, I mean, they got to make some of the things I'm asking for. I'm hearing the next wave is going to be nothing but villains. So that's interesting. You've definitely piqued my interest for that. I'm definitely curious to see what's going to be made for that. More like mercenary guys, like I've been saying I need. Here's the Vanguard driver with a Condor head sculpt on there. Ooh, actually, let's get in some more comparisons, and I want to do head sculpt with him. Here's the Arctic Trooper with this guy. So I noticed a lot of good head sculpts. You get a lot of characters. We got Wenwu. Looks good on there. It's loose, though, like Recon's hand. But you see him saying, like, his hand is just like that. Like, that's unacceptable, fills the head. Nothing a piece of paper can't fix, but that looks really good. Another one I noticed, well, actually, real quick, you know what I did notice what stinks is I was like, oh, this head sculpt would be perfect, but it doesn't work with G.I. Joe. They're a lot smaller. Here's Joe, here's Marvel, and here's Valaverse. Oh, that's given a shadow, sorry. So you can see, unless you want to ruin your G.I. Joe head sculpt and won't be able to fit on anything else, won't work. But that would have been cool. That would have looked really cool. So if you're into customizing, you know. And lastly, another cool one, Wolverine. Looks pretty good. Might look good on that body too, actually. If you want like a Commando Logan or something. Because I got to tell you, the G.I. Joe, Hasbro G.I. Joes, they go so beautifully with the Marvel Legends. So beautifully. I mean, obviously it's the same company, but also the Jada Street Fighter go well with G.I. Joe as well. And Valaverse obviously mixes in. Here, let's get another. Here's got the driver with the, I mean, Condor with the driver head on him. A lot of comparisons here. Let's get in Rambo. Sylvester the Joke Stallone. Put him over here. Let's put in Ghostface. Mezco. Let's get in, speaking of Marvel Legends, You can see already, like, look how beautifully that matches that Valaverse figure. Like, nice, real nice. They can fight. Scrap it up, mix it up. All right, let's get in another Valaverse with a Marvel Legend head sculpt, kind of with a Black Widow head sculpt. Also fits on the females perfect. Yeah, Marvel Legends head fit on these bodies perfectly. Let's get in. Whoa, hang on. Let's get in next. Rhea Bloody Ripley from WWE. Someone said Bobby should get her for his movie. Now, I would love that, and this is not a shot at Bobby Vala from Valaverse or Valaverse in general, but they cannot afford Rhea Ripley. He can't even afford Cara Disgrace Dune. What's her face? Who cares? Honestly, you can't even afford her. You cannot afford Rhea Ripley. This woman makes $10 million a year from WWE. You're gonna have to throw a bag of money at her. You're gonna have to top that for her to take a break from WWE to go do that. You know what I mean? So that's a lot of money to say no from. I don't think they can afford her. It's not a shot. That's a lot of money. All right, so let's bring in Scarlet. I've been working on since last time. Changed her up a bit in Series 4. Actually, let's put her on this side. This will bring in my other custom. Is my Arnold from Predator Hunting Grounds. Get him in there. If someone put one of him on a Atlas body, I was like, ooh, that's a good idea. I should have thought of that. But other things to put on Scarlet. But yeah, that really saved that horrible Joe first edition, as you could call it. Scarlet head sculpt, jeez Louise. I didn't like the body on that. The head sculpt was okay. Everyone complained about that sculpt, but I thought it was all right. But I think she looks pretty badass now. Who else? I mean, I could keep going forever, honestly, but I think I've done enough here. Did I do a figure art? Or a Kamen Rider figure art? Just so you can get an idea of scale. But yeah, it can go all day. I'm surrounded by figures. I can bring out 20 of them. This video has gone pretty long, but for only 3 figures as well. But as you can see, I wanted to be really thorough with these. Really get into just everything that I noticed about them. Will it die? No, it will survive for another day. But I do see the Grim Reaper approacheth. It is kind of, I've said this before, they're becoming like 4 Horsemen, where it's like, I was into them a lot, and I got a lot, and I feel like you just get a handful of figures, and you feel like you have them all. If the next series has it doesn't have the double ball peg, I'm really like, it's already a no. But if it's something like Praetorian-esque kind of, not just a different color Praetorian, but if it's something like really, really cool, like I said, new mercenary guys that look like they could go in Logan or something like that. Just something really cool that I'm not thinking of. I'll definitely consider, but it'd have to be something really cool to get me to turn my no to a yes for that head sculpt. Again, there are going to be other things that I need, a few things here and there, like packs, accessory sets, and what have you. And, I did get another figure that I will be reviewing soon, if not next. I'm going to really bring down Thor's hammer on it. So yeah, we'll see into that. And then I'm counting it as 5.5 or Series 6 or whatever. But we're going to see what happens. And hopefully, things do change and they turn things around and things get better. And they're not just, plugging their ears and just, tell us we don't know anything. Well, I know I'm buying them and I know when I'm not. And if things won't change, then I guess this will be the end. Till next time. Whoosh.